We have already discussed the fundamentals of the Loma San Gabriel culture in a previous video a while back. In it, there is mentions about coprolites, or fossilized poop, found in caves occupied by them, which has given archaeologists an insight into their diet. However, these remains can tell us a lot more. One of the caves associated with the culture is La Cueva de los Muertos Chiquitos, or the Cave of the Little Dead Ones, in Durango, Mexico, called that due to the remains of many small children being found in it. Evidence unsure if they were victims of sacrifice or succumbing to the diseases that will be mentioned later in the film. Many organic remains have also been found in this cave since it was excavated in the 50s, especially coprolites. Recently, a paper was published by researchers in October 2025 that analyzed this ancient feces for pathogens and parasites. The material dated from 720 to 900 AD. They first looked at the contents for any remains of their diet. Many contained prickly pear cactus, squash, ground cherry, maize, sunflower, pigweed, and goosefoot. Yet the most noble material found in most of the coprolites was agave, due to how prevalent it was, not only there, but also in teeth and chewing quids recovered from the cave. It was deduced that it was the source of the wear found in the dental remains and was the main factor in the abrasiveness of the diet of the Loma San Gabriel people. Next, tests were conducted to check for pathogens and parasites. The results revealed a high prevalence in many of the coprolites. 60% of them contained traces of pinworm. Protozoa like Giardia and Entamoeba were also found. E. coli and Shigella also were detected. Now, what do these results mean? The researchers interpreted that the people in this area were in close contact with human waste and drank from contaminated water. What's interesting to note, and wasn't mentioned in the paper, is that when these coprolites were deposited was the same time our Chalchihuitas presence, centered in what is now modern-day Zacatecas, began to be seen in the Loma San Gabriel material culture. And as was mentioned in the film about them, it's believed they were used as a labor force by an elite composed of people from the Chalchihuitas culture in their mining operations and constructing sites such as La Ferreria. Could this be evidence of the disparity that existed between the two groups, with the Loma San Gabriel people having less access to resources and having to endure harsher conditions that left them more exposed to pathogens? Could the bodies of the children found in the cave also be evidence of how prevalent mortality was amongst the Loma San Gabriel people? The theory that they were sacrificial victims paints a different angle, and relying on much evidence, including Tepehuan oral history, the supposed descendants of the Loma San Gabriel culture, that child sacrifice was common in times of great distress as a last resort when the crops were failing. The preserved remains at La Cueva de los Muertos Chiquitos gives us an insight into the little-known culture of Aridoamerica and the stresses they had to endure while also having to cope with changes, as how the coprolites with pathogens appear at a time with the arrival of new people who may have exploited the labor of the Loma San Gabriel peoples and disrupted their lifestyles. The recent publication also shows that there is still much to learn about this crossroads of cultural areas that is Aridoamerica.